Elena Lyulintseva is a mind and wellness coach. Her coaching is based on the three principles approach. In this episode, Elena shares a bit of her background and some of her life experience of being in an unhealthy relationship. In the Business Review Part 1, we talk about how her grounding is her niche and how and why niching helps you get started. We also discuss why social media algorithms favor niching. Lastly, we talk about raising our frequency by feeling into what you want as if you already have it, so that it has no choice but to align with your reality. Elena dedicated herself to starting a journaling practice and experiment to live in this feeling and to notice and document how her reality shifts and changes around her as she does this. She's also open and allowing the time and space to feel into who she wants to help and why when it comes to coaching and building her business. You can contact Elena by reaching out to her through her website at www.life-story-coaching.com. Tell me a little bit about what you do, why you do it, what got you to where you are now with your coaching and your business. And
hmm so I used to be in a very unhappy relationship, in a marriage that I'm not longer in. And when I was there, I was so unhappy, so unhappy. So I was looking for a way to feel better. So I was thinking if I cannot change the situation, at that point, I thought I cannot change the situation. I thought I will change my perspective. I'll change my how I see it. So I ended up studying neurolinguistic programming and coaching through that. It was a 2 years course. And somehow I found YouTube video about it and I was like, okay, I have to do that. That's something that will help me because they talk about how you can change your state of mind using all these techniques and so on and so on. So I started with NLP and I was getting better. And actually I had a huge insight while I was studying is that I am responsible for my own happiness and that I can leave if I don't like where I am. And it was a turning point for me. It was kind of life before and after. And then I decided to get a divorce. I had two little kids. And even though I had two little kids and it sounded crazy, I was like, I just want to do it. It was so clear to me. And then when I did that, everything flowed. So I found an apartment, I found a new job, the salary was much better and I found new friends. It was like everything was unfolding for me. And I thought back then that if I could do that, I want help people do that too. From going to this, I'm stuck, I'm so unhappy to being happy, free, enjoying life. And then I was learning NLP in Russian. I'm originally from Russia, so my first language is Russian, even though I'm here since 2008. Still, I was learning NLP in Russian, and then I was like, okay, I want to go back to life coaching. So I finished life coaching course in English, and then I thought, okay, I will do that. So I finished that, and I didn't have that feeling that I'm ready to do that. Now I know it was my thinking. And then I somehow came across three principles, which happened last August. So it's almost a year. And then with three principles, everything became even more unclear in terms of how to position myself, what I do, how to tell people about what I do, because I no longer use any techniques. So techniques for me, they lost sense. In NLP, there are a lot of techniques. And when you tell people, oh, yeah, treat phobia, we'll work with fears, beliefs, and it's like all about techniques. Here, I was like, you don't know, you just talk to people and hope they have insights and realizations, right? I was like, how do I position myself now? it became super vague. I was like, I don't know. I still don't know how to do it, how to say it the way that people get it. So I'm now in this place where I really want people to see that they can feel the way they want to feel, and it's easy. It doesn't have to be complicated. It's actually so simple. And I want the more people to see it because the more people are happy, the less hate, the less worse, the less anger will be out there in the world. So I see it as a big thing. And starting with myself, starting with people around me, I'm doing that by talking about this, but I'm not sure how to approach the bigger population.
Yeah, so the first thing that's coming to me just as you're telling me this is that when you went through what you experienced, the suffering and the unhappiness and the stuckness, that's what you were in when you decided to look for something, right?
Hmm.
And NLP caught your attention first. Is that what it was?
Yes.
Okay.
Hmm.
So NLP, knowing it's been around for a very long time, has evolved to the point to be very direct with how it reaches people, right? It's very like the language of marketing is there, like neurolinguist, and they've even
Hmm.
coined the terms and um, people who are suffering. I was attracted to it too. You tend to go that way because you're like, oh, I could change my mind. I could change my life. I could change my thoughts. I can, and it's funny because a lot of us end up over in the three principles, almost like another step, right? But the thing that happens as we're healing and we're becoming more, I want to say, aware of our energy bodies, we're more present in time, we're more in the now, we're not suffering anymore. We're almost floating, right? We're almost
Hmm.
like we can be in this energy all day long of sitting across from someone and holding space so they can have an insight. Like that is so simple and that is so easy because we know how everybody's designed, right? So
Hmm.
when I say we, like those of us that are holding this space, we know how simple and easy it is. But the people that we tend to need to reach have no idea. They have no idea. So then we begin to strategize with our language and with marketing, essentially, is reaching people, sharing feelings, sharing experience, sharing what we do, and reaching the right people. And the best ways that I have found to do that is to make my language so precise that I've mentioned this before, it pierces people just like a laser. It just goes directly to somebody that you can help. And so an example would be when you were in that unhappy relationship, if somebody said, hey, Alina, if you're in an unhappy relationship, I've got a ticket for you to get out of there. You would have probably responded to that, right? You would have said, what
Hmm.
is it? What, tell me more, right? And that's what we have to do with our language now is figure out what those problems are so that we can talk about those problems and figure out who those people that we want to help are so that they can feel heard and reached
Hmm.
and then they can respond to that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So one of the first things that I noticed when I was skimming, because I looked at your social media, I looked at, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, what you have up there. The one of the things that I noticed is I wasn't really sure clear as to who you helped. Like is there a type of person or there a specific group of people? I did read your reviews and I could tell that you helped women, but other than that, I wasn't really sure. Like does she though? Like does she help men too? So I want to bring that up, but first, and then I want to just hear what you might see in this. The thing with the three principles, and if anybody listening here is part of the three principles community, please listen very clearly. We end up going into this space where we don't need a lot of grounding to change people. I mean, we'll ground ourselves, but we're present and
Mhm.
we're changing people. But we still have to translate that to reach people that we can help through the grounding that we have experienced in our life. So for me, my personal experience was business and marketing, business and marketing, business and marketing. And I was doing my own suffering, trust me. I had family members and deep addiction. I couldn't figure out how to change my thinking about that. So that's one of the things that got me into the three-piece community was trying to cope with that. And um, eventually I I was having all this cognitive dissonance of like business and marketing, three print, like how is all of this stuff? This is logic, this is energy, this is personal mind, this is intellect, this is universal mind, and then I had to blend the two and I said, oh, okay, I don't need to stand up and teach the principles. I need to embed the principles into what I already know. And I need to show up from that space because I was taking my life skills and my life experience and like throwing it out the window, thinking that the three P's was like, now the thing, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be a spiritual teacher. Well, what is that? And I feel like a lot of us that step into the three P's, we wipe out everything. It's like, oh, cool, I don't need anything else now. That's fine. I'm just going to throw all that stuff away. And I'm just going to talk about the richer, more enjoyable feeling of life and all this. And that's great. But the people that reaches are usually the people that are already there. So we need to look at our life experience and say, but what do I know? Like, what is my grounding? What have I been through that I can step into someone else's shoes and look them in the eye and say, I've been there. I know the pain you're having. I know the struggle. I know your friction. I know the life that you want to have because I'm there, right?
Mhm. Yeah, I love it. I love it. And it sounds so simple. It was like, just talk about this, that you've been through stuff. Like, yeah, that sounds simple. But I also had this thought for a longest time that marketing is so hard. It's so hard. It's so hard. And it was so loud. And then when I realized it's just a thought, I was like, okay, I don't have to put so much meaning into it. It takes some skill and some learning and trying different things, but it's not hard. Another thought that I like more.
Yeah, it's a better thought.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And we do tend to maybe try something three or four times and we're like, that was hard. I don't want to do it anymore. But it is a skill. And that's where I find myself in my own teachings is I'm like, I'll show up and I'll say, I have this framework. I'm going to teach everybody. I'm going to show you how to market. I'm going to show you how to get your voice out there so that you can be heard over the internet because, a lot of what we do is online. And then they'll say, okay, give me the one, two, three. The intellect wants that, right? It's like, give me the one, two, three steps. Give me exactly what I need. And so often, what I end up doing is wiping the slate clean and say, wait a minute, you can't have that until you listen to yourself. Because remember, this is my theory. When we're sitting with someone and we're getting a great feeling and they're having insights about their relationships or with money, they're also able to have their own insights about business too, just like you can. And I saw one of your videos. You said, I finally know what I do. I help people find their own solutions to their problems. And I was like, we do that with business too. We just think that it's separate, right? So we think
Mhm.
that, yeah, we keep thinking that we can give we can give everybody else insights and we can give our insights to ourselves also about our own life path or what we should do about this or that or solving this or that problem, but we're having insights about our business too 24/7. And sometimes when somebody says, okay, I'm going to apply this one, two, three framework or whatever you want to call it, they throw away their insights, right? And they're moving into such an intellectual space that the insights can't be seen again. And so what I end up teaching people a lot of the time just in conversation is we have to begin to notice where we can sit into a space of presence and allow the insights versus practicing those skills that the insights show us we need to learn.
Mhm. But you're so right. And I was so there. I wanted somebody to tell me, do this, that, and this. One, two, three. And when they said, no, listen to yourself, it's like, I don't want to listen to myself. I just want one, two, three, and I want to be out. Just tell me, just give me this magic formula, this magic pill. I don't want to listen to myself. Like, nothing is there. So I was so skeptical and so looking forward to one, two, three solution. And it took me so long to see and realize that actually I should go inward and look for the solution inside of me, not outside. But I see how it can be appealing to have these one, two, three steps versus to look inside. Sounds like, ooh, you'll find the answer. And that's what I mean. It feels like it, when I say it, people like, yeah, you can help me because I need one, two, three.
Yeah. And the funniest thing too is that, like, if there was, first of all, if there was a one, two, three, everybody would be doing it. It would be easy.
For sure.
We'd all
Yeah.
have it. It would just be like, yeah, oh yeah, I got that. You want it? You got to pay for it because it works, right? And that's the thing with marketing is they all say it works, and it works for some people, and some parts of it work for other people, and some parts of it are accurate. And when we listen to ourselves, um, when we begin to listen to ourselves, we can begin to feel like, yeah, this is the right direction. This is the right direction, or this is something that I need to learn, or this is something that I want to, dig deeper into. This is a skill that I actually want to have. And an example of this is someone who said, I am so tired of posting on social media. I hate it. It was fine for a minute, and now I don't like doing it at all. And by the end of the conversation, they had probably posted for 2 years straight, like 3 times a day. And they said, it's doing nothing for my business. And after we looked at some of those analytical things that converts a person, the logical stuff, that converts a person off of social media into an email list, like, because that's just kind of like a logical flow of getting people into your world, right? After we looked at that, we realized that they don't even like video. They don't like being on video. They'd rather be writing. And they had ignored the writer in them for so long, thinking that they needed to be on camera all the time. And when they shifted to writing, not only was there a calling there for them to write more than one book. They've got Amazon reviews, and they almost have a funnel that naturally was born just from them listening to like their creativity, what it was trying to tell. And we all have that creativity within us. So there's a few working parts there, and it's a balance of, am I listening to my creativity? Am I listening to myself? Am I listening to my feelings and the direction that that's taking me? Am I improving the skills that that if you get better and better and better at them, they're going to be easier and, more streamlined. So there's a
Mhm.
combination of things as business owners and entrepreneurs, especially online. It's a bag of mixed goods, right? But they're all parts of us and our path. It seems a little bit multi-layered.
Yeah, I love it. Um, I love how you said listening to ourselves, listening to our feelings, this discovering what's your way, how you want to do it. I think I'm still in progress in terms of discovering what I like more, how I like it. And some posts, it's interesting because um with social media, I decided I'm gonna listen to the feeling, to my this inner desire to post something. And most of the recent posts after I think October were just those I just wanted to say it. And it was very natural, not scripted, which I love too. But it's not consistent. The desire is like it's here one day, then it's 2 weeks, nothing.
Yeah, it is. And you can't really write off desire or motivation. You have to create it in the moment, right?
Yeah.
So do you like posting on social media?
I don't hate it. I would say I like it more than not like it. I'm kind of neutral and liking it more. I don't love it, but
Mhm.
I like it. I feel good about it.
Yeah. So I want to also talk a little bit about my story too, because one of the first things that I did when I got into the three principles is looking at your website. Like mine looked very identical, not like identical, but like the language was the same. And I'm noticing, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to walk into a three Ps like seminar one of these days, and I'm just going to say, how many of you guys can give me a better life? And everybody's going to raise their hand. Everybody's going to raise their hand. And I tend to the challenge there is why would I pick one person over another, right?
Mhm.
For marketing. I could say, how many of you can help me with my business? And maybe everybody drops their hand but one person, right? So when we begin to put ourselves out there in the world, we need to isolate. And I think the three principles teaches us to expand, and it teaches us
Mhm.
to evolve, and it teaches us to be a version of enlightened, right? But to come back into a 3D world, we have to isolate and build boundaries around things and make things more tangible and more deliverable and more
Mhm.
reach more psychology and energy, because people feel our energy too when we're posting online, right? But there's that human part of us, and there's the intellect, there's the emotion, and there's so many things that we can parts of a person that we could talk to when we're showing up on social media. But in my experience, when I've talked to the masses, the whole of the humans, like all of them, none of them are responding because I'm not calling anybody out, right? I'm not saying I personally I've been in a bad relationship too, a few of them. Luckily, that
Mhm.
chapter's gone and passed. But if I would walk into a room full of three principles people and I said, "Hey, who can help me get out of this abusive relationship?" I would hope that a lot of people would lower their hands, maybe the people that hadn't been through it, right?
Mhm.
So when we, because we know the three principles, does not mean that we remove all of our tools and our experience. We need to isolate something that we know in our grounding, which is our experience, and then reincorporate the principles into showing up for those people. So is there somebody that you know that you can help, that you've been, because for most people it's usually I've been through these 10 things, I could pick this one, and actually
Mhm.
help these women or these children or these men, or this person struggling with this problem. Is there someone or an experience that you feel like you could help somebody through, that you want to, not that you could, but that you want to, that you say, I feel inspired to talk to this woman or this man or this child or this struggle?
That's a good question. Because I was focusing on women who went through a divorce. And then it became not, it would not resonate with me anymore. Then I thought somebody who lost their loved ones, because I lost my mom, and I lost my mom. I saw her taking her last breath. So it was very real experience. And it took me some time, a year of crying every day to go over it. It was before three principles, though. But that's the thing. I want to help everybody. And then, yes, I ended up like promoting myself as helping women, but then I ended up having two male clients, two men, and somehow they came to me, which was interesting. I was like, okay, I'm saying that I help women, and men just came into my coaching practice. So it was interesting. I was like, maybe, and then I thought maybe I should not be that strict about like just women, not just men, just this or that. So I don't know, Laura. I don't have an
Yeah.
answer.
So what you explained is basically, I mean, I don't want to say it's not your path, but we generally are like tripping over our feet saying, "Oh, I could help everybody." But again, everybody in that
Mhm.
room would have their hand raised, right? Like hiring a real estate agent, they would all raise their hands. Why should I choose this one over this one? So it's our job as business owners to create the why. Why would they, what is, and that's where you get into the deep marketing language of unique value proposition and what makes me unique among everyone else and what is my message to people so that they choose me, right?
Mhm. Now I'm thinking relationship because after I went through a divorce, now I'm in a very happy, healthy, loving relationship. And um I'm excited about this. I'm even talking about this that it's possible, you know.
Mhm. It is. Yeah. And same, I'm in a very loving relationship and it excites you when you can see that some, when you don't think you're ever going to find your person.
Hmm.
So what you described is essentially what part of the conversation we're having is around niching, we call in the marketing
Hmm.
world. And it's like pick a niche. And I tell you, when I first started doing yoga years ago, I was like, yoga is for all humans. It is great. Everybody should do yoga. Meditation is for all humans. And my marketing went flop. It wasn't until I said, this is for beginners, or this is beginner friendly, or this is for busy women in business that I was able to isolate. And they
Hmm.
felt heard by me when I said that. And the interesting thing from that is the way that the analogy I like to use is when we niche, we're not just saying we're only going to help one type of person. That's what we think intellectually or even logically, it sounds like that. But what we're saying is we're going to throw a piece of bait out there that we know somebody is going to hook onto, and all their friends are going to come to. So that's why the men came. The men came because what tends to happen is um, all the other fish are coming towards the food too, right? Another a metaphor is like a bee in a garden. So when you have an audience, a specific audience that you're always talking to, so I help. So if you were to say something like, I help women find the love of their lives, let's just say that, whether it's true or not.
Hmm.
If you're saying that message over and over and over and over and over again, and you're getting those clients, and that bee is constantly coming to your little doorstep and just um, you're getting that avatar over and over and over again by law somehow, I don't know why, the men come, the other people come, and you're like, I wasn't even marketing to these people, but that's a good thing. That means that your messaging is doing what it wants, what you want it to, which is to bring that collective. So if we think about like humanity being like co-collectives of people
Hmm.
that are going through certain struggles, when you can bring that woman who is struggling or that man or whoever that initial niching avatar isolation that you choose, when you're doing that and everybody else is coming in, you've done a good job of marketing and your clientele will build up and then the referrals come in. But you're only
Mm-hmm.
usually marketing to that one. Sometimes it could be, I do teach that it could be up to three people, like if you're a man going through a divorce or if you're a woman going through a divorce or if you're in a bad relationship, like you want to call those people out because nobody else is going to feel heard, right? Just
Mm-hmm.
so one of the things that kind of helped me is like seeing the three-piece community. I was like, I can see these struggles that the three-piece community is having because now they're
Mm-hmm.
taking this elusive energy and they're trying to take something that's very unseen and make it seen. And that's how we have to do that.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
And that doesn't mean that you're only helping with relationships.
Mm-hmm.
It means that that's the location that you're putting on the map, is that Alina helps women build their inner core so that they can be the partner they want to be and live a happy
Mm-hmm.
life with the love of their life. And then they'll refer their kids to you. They'll refer their teens to you. They'll refer their brother's cousin to you. Then you get the referrals, and then eventually you start to see like, oh, I could make a video about this, or I could make a video about that, and other people come into your world too.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to be direct in reaching somebody, or we're not reaching anybody.
Anybody. Yes. You're so right. I was avoiding this so long. I was like, no, I don't want a niche. I don't want to have a niche. I want this wide open. But you're right. When
Well, and
it's like
remember
that,
you're
nobody,
Well, and
nobody.
remember you're not, I know because I went through this and I felt like I was putting myself into a box. Like I've expanded and I've done all this work on myself and I've done all this work on my life and I'm free. And then I felt like
Mm-hmm.
I was stuffing myself back into a box. Like you fit here.
Mm-hmm.
But I have multiple businesses. I have multiple programs. I have multiple products. I have multiple online courses. I have multiple, and it's a range of everything. I don't just do business and marketing coaching. I do group classes. I have 9 different courses in the works. We have 2 martial arts schools. We do real estate. We teach financial investments. Because once you begin making all this money that anybody makes from business, you got to know what to do with it. Otherwise, you're never going to be
Mm-hmm.
financially free, right? So we realized like we need to teach people. I talk about Robert and I. We need to teach people where to put this money that they're making now, that they are up and running and they're consistent and their income is dependable. How do you get into financial freedom and wealth? And then we made that, right? And then so when we isolate, we're not stuffing ourselves back into a box. We're just marketing to one person. And honestly, you can market the exact same thing to multiple people. But you would need
Mm-hmm.
like in the beginning, you might need different social media channels, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
do you use TikTok or anything like that? Like scroll on any of those?
I do have TikTok.
Yeah. So you notice that the best channels, what they tend to do is that they are what's something that you love? Do you bake or do you go running or do you do anything like any kind of hobby that you love doing?
Oh, yes. I blanked for a moment. I play sports. I
Okay.
play catchball and volleyball.
Okay. Um, so would it be weird if cage ball and volleyball, if one person had both of those things on their channel, are they very different or are they similar?
They are they're different. Actually, catchball it's more of like Jewish community because it came from Israel. So it's most women who play catchball, they're Jewish. So it's Israeli Jewish community
Okay.
people.
So it would be pretty strange if you saw one person's channel and they were doing both, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
What I do is if I want to market to a different person, or if it's like a completely different thing, you could say, hey, I help men going through divorce to seek the other, you could do men on another channel too. You could have as
Okay.
many channels as you want,
Get it.
you know.
Uh-huh.
You could also do a channel speaking to women who are getting remarried. Like when we niche, it's not just the only thing you get to do. Because most of us are multi-passionate. Like there's a lot of things that we want to do. So don't ever think you're putting yourself in a box. It's just isolating. And the resistance to it seems to be, in my experience, we are reincorporating something from an energetic space where we can't see it, and we're bringing it back into the 3D where we can talk
Mm-hmm.
about it, and then we can um, solidify it. It feels like a solidification,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what people feel and hear.
Yes. And it's clear for them. Not like, ooh, this very not non-specific thing. Yes. But
Because our marketing. Oh,
Mhm.
go ahead.
Do you think it should be, not it should be, it can be different Instagram accounts or different, complete, like on Instagram, you target divorced men and then TikTok divorced women. And in LinkedIn, you target, I don't know, somebody else.
Um, that's a great question. What I would do first is pick one and just
Yeah.
get consistent with the one. Maybe you pick divorced women, and then or women going through a divorce, or women that are in really unhealthy relationships. Pick one. Or you can talk to three different avatars if they are similar, right? So
Mhm.
divorced women, women going through a divorce, middle-aged women going through a divorce, something like that. Like you could talk to
Mhm.
all of them and call them all out on the same channel. I would just get really consistent with that to where it feels good. Because you might get to the point where you're like, you know what? I don't want to do this anymore. I don't like these people. I don't want to work for them. I don't want to work with them because I've done that like 100 times. Been like, I don't know. I did that in the trauma, trying to help people through trauma. I got kicked out of like all the groups, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm going somewhere else because I was just too positive.
I
But
know, I know that feeling. Laura. You're just too positive. You don't understand.
yeah. And I had went through 5 years of severe post-traumatic stress disorder. And so I did know, and that's, part of my path. But I was like, okay, I guess okay, what's next? So then I ended up doing all of this on YouTube. So
Mhm.
I ended up shifting my avatar, or my market, or my um, every time on YouTube. And then eventually my YouTube was just this cluttered thing, and I had to go out and delete a bunch of videos, right? Because
Mhm.
I wanted the algorithm, and I wanted the people that eventually landed on my YouTube that are going to watch all of my videos. I wanted them to get good, consistent content. I didn't want them land on a trauma person video and then like a three-piece business thing. So that's
Mhm.
why I personally use I don't separate accounts. I was told in the beginning to use one account for everything because I already had a following. But that did lead to problems that I didn't want to, that I later had to fix. So
Mhm.
that's why I just recommend choosing, three avatars that are very similar, and then speaking to them over and over and over again on the channel where they're most likely going to be hanging out.
Mhm.
It might not be LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very professional. It might be a great place for executive coaches. It doesn't
Mhm.
mean that it's not. You probably know that platform better than I do, but TikTok is a great place to start a community and actually have conversations.
Mhm.
YouTube is very good for educating people. YouTube shorts. Long form
Sure.
YouTube is really good
Um,
for educating people. If you want to see, I'm a teacher and I can teach, so I could just stand up and talk for 10 minutes. But not everybody has that. It has 10 minutes of content in them at a time, right? But then I
mhm,
cut that up into shorts on YouTube and then I kind of link it to the longer videos.
mhm,
So, but yeah, I mean, I would say pick one, and if you are seeing that that's getting you traction, then you can decide, well, do I want another product or a program for men? And
mhm,
then when you open that new can of worms or that new um, that new marketing that you need to establish, then you can say, should I do this on the same channel? Should I do it on a different platform completely? Right? Because your
mhm,
avatar may hang out in different places. Like there's not a lot of teenagers, for example, that hang out on Facebook anymore, like they're used to.
mhm. Yeah.
So yeah. So I wouldn't think too far ahead. I would just establish the one, get consistent with
Mhm.
that. Because the other thing that happens, that have you ever painted or
Yes.
watched someone? Yeah. So when we create artwork, business is an art, and it's always going to have surprises to share with you along the way. But it's never going to show itself to you in completion in the beginning. So you get
Mhm.
to walk the journey and see the surprises that it's going to show you. And through those surprises, it's going to navigate you to to something that you just can't quite see it yet. But there's a lot of magic along the way. And that's the journey that we talk about.
And it sounds exciting. The journey, business journey.
Yeah. So what do you see your life? Because I know you said that you want to work part-time so that you can spend time with your family. Are you living somewhere
Mhm.
different in this vision in your mind, or do you have a different lifestyle, or like what all includes this vision that you would like to see your life as in, 2 years or so?
Mm. I'm not sure if I even want to work part-time, meaning part-time coaching. If it's coaching and if it's part-time and it's enough money, then it's ideal. And then I can do sports, I can spend more time with kids, travel more, enjoy life more, slow down more. And traveling. Traveling, I think, is my biggest passion, but it's an expensive one too. And if you want to travel with kids and with friends, it's with kids it's even more expensive. But yes, it's something I really enjoy. Seeing new countries, seeing new people, seeing new cultures, learning, expanding. I love it.
Do you ever see yourself doing something in travel, like some kind of offer around that?
Like what?
Well, usually, and like 100%, I would say 100%. I'm just thinking about how, because we talk about how we're designed, right? And when we
Mhm.
love something, and there's something that just we not like we'd rather be doing, but that would not feel like work to us. Like that just doesn't feel like work. Like I do this and it doesn't feel like work. Everybody's like, you
Uh-huh.
work a lot. No, it just doesn't. That's not working. That's having fun. If I
Uh-huh.
had to,
I love
if I
that.
had to figure out how to do that, that might be work, but this doesn't work. So usually that's an indicator of our life path.
Mhm.
A lot of the time I call this our higher self or our guidance of a direction. And a lot of people have a lot of passions. So this is again learning to navigate what our system is telling us. But if there's something that we really love doing, then by universal law, it will fully support us in return. And the what part or the how part, the what part we get to create through creativity and conversation and well, what could I offer if I were to travel the world and post all my videos on TikTok or social media? Because it could be like the best places to visit in Rome, or, do these top 10 things when you're in Mississippi, or, something like that. And you could actually sell something like that. Um, but it needs to be exciting for us. And I do know that being in the space of energy and
Hmm.
with what we've learned is exciting and it feels free because we get to forget all about our own problems and like everything about ourselves. We're just like we become one, right? We're just like we're so present and feeling so good that it's like I'd rather be in the space and coaching other people. And then realizing that we can take that anywhere and infuse it in anything is like, what? I could travel around the world and just like hold small classes about how to become feel more whole, right?
Hmm.
So there's all these opportunities that come from our passions, and like I said, they will support us, but it's our job to listen to what they are and then take inspired action on what those things are kind of guiding us to.
I love how you said it, how you put it. And I think for me, maybe it will become something I would want to do when kids are older. Because when kids are still in school and I'm sharing them with my ex-husband, so they're 50-50. So I still have, and I love spending time with them. And they are in this kind of structure and system still. I think once they go to college, maybe that will fully uncover for me how I can combine traveling and coaching and maybe I don't know, maybe something else. But for now it's more of just enjoying. I'm enjoying. I'm usually don't have too many plans when I go somewhere. I just go with the flow. Just drive and it's like, oh, this looks nice and I go there. So it's more of like a free fall for me. Very unstructured. And I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I understand that. So in 2 years, where would you like to see your lifestyle?
I definitely would love to coach and to coach more and travel more and travel even small travels with kids and but it would be just for fun and maybe just share it as part of who I am because I think what I see at least in my social media that posts about me, my family, about my personal life for some reason they get more views, they get more likes, they get more attention. Something about coaching, not that much. So I think at least for me, I think it's good to post both. Something about yourself and something about what you do, not strictly what you do and kind of being invisible personally.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of authenticity, right? We want to show up as who we
Yes.
are because we give permission to other people to be who they are when we show up
Mhm.
as our most
Yes.
authentic selves.
Yes.
And they can see our lives and we're relatable because we're all out here trying to live our best life, right? So when we
Mhm.
share that, I feel like people feel it a little deeper.
Yeah.
So the reason that I ask that is usually I get answers like, oh, well, I want to be living over here in this house, or I want to be doing this with these people, or oh, I want to be up on stage speaking, or I want to be in an entirely different place completely. Sometimes people are like dreaming of this life that they want outside of the present moment, which is actually helpful because it helps you realize, um, what your dreams are. And there's an energy
Mm-hmm.
to that. There's an energy to being in this wonderful like feeling of I can sit with the energy of everything that I have right now and be
Mm-hmm.
with it. And quantum physics and even manifestation. I don't usually like using that word too much because people hold weight to it. But manifestation, as they talk about it in newer age, but quantum physics has proven that when we can begin to visualize our life exactly the way that we want it, you could do in 2 years, you could do in 5 years, you could do in 10 years, whatever it is that you choose. What happens is we can choose to begin to feel it also. So it's like, oh, I can
Mm-hmm.
feel this life. I can feel myself traveling all over the world. I can feel myself doing this with my kids in this place and posting these videos. Like I can immerse myself into this reality with imagination. And
Mm-hmm.
what happens from there is we not only get insights as we're taught in the principles, we get inspired action. And inspired action is guidance saying to do
Mm-hmm.
this, go there, do this, do this, do this. And the reason why this is so important is because if there's something that you really want to do in your life, whether it's travel or move to a different house or be in a different state, when you're sitting the energy and the energy of what that feeling gives you, quantum physics says that it has to align you to that. And so with
Mm-hmm.
your coaching business, it's no different, right? So if you were to imagine yourself with 10 10 clients a week, consistent every week, and you feel what that feels like, you feel that like relaxed, you're not stressed anymore. You're like, oh, this
Mm-hmm.
is, yeah, I can feel this. I'm making this money. I could feel that being in my bank account. I can feel that security. I can feel that safety. Right now, the same thing happens. We begin to get hunches, insights, and inspired action. And
Mm-hmm.
the inspired action, it feels random, but it's actually the fastest way to get there.
Mm-hmm. I used to do it a lot in NLP. We used to visualize a lot. Visualization and the feeling and become deeper in that feeling when you achieve something you want to achieve. I used to do it. For sure, it helped me with my relationship. So I knew how I wanted to feel, and I'm feeling what I wanted to feel. So it helped me in my relationship for sure. I should try it with coaching now because before I think I tried it, but didn't work. Maybe I didn't see it clearly, wasn't ready. Or sometimes, you think you want like $1 trillion, but it's so big that it's kind of for your mind it's unrealistic and somewhere deep inside you don't believe in it and then you can't fully feel it. So maybe for me and my coaching before it wasn't realistic. So I deep inside didn't feel it that I can. Now I think I do. I need to try it. Need to try to do it more. Visualize and see how it feels.
Well, we know that we attract what we are and we're attracting what we're putting out there. So if we're attracting trying, or if we're trying and trying, that's what we're attracting. It's trying and
Mhm.
trying and trying and trying. And sometimes we try and try and try to get it right before we start. Like what you said, I didn't feel ready. Like ready in itself is an illusion. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's not even real. It's not a real thing. Nobody ever hardly, if they feel ready, it's one of those momentary inspiration things. And even that goes away. They're like, what did I get myself into? I wasn't ready. But so we have to take action regardless. But knowing energy and the way that quantum physics explains energy, lots and lots of research on this, is that we have to become the vibration first, and then the reality matches. So when we're telling ourselves, I can't, or I'm not ready, or, like you said, marketing is hard, or I don't know how to do this, it's too complicated. Like that's what we're matching the frequency to.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why they came out with affirmations and affirmations and all those things of I'm rich and it's because they're trying to get our vibration up to something that the universe can match to. And what we end up doing is putting a lot of expectation or outcomes on how that stuff is going to come to us. And that just kind of ends up blocking the energy from getting to us also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So we say, well, I'm going to post. I see this a lot. People are like, I'm going to post all this stuff online or on social media so that this happens, and then so that this happens. And there is some, I don't want to say that there's not strategy and skill, and we could talk a little bit about more about the solid, tangible things when it comes to marketing. But when we're holding so hard onto an outcome, we're missing the point that a lot of it's happening right there, right now. Like it's all coming together, and we're just having some expectation that it's not. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. It's an interesting concept. And it's like you really, as you said, this trying, but I said about trying, and since I used to do it before this visualization with coaching years ago, I first started 2019, but I'm still not there yet. But I'm having my path. So, sometimes some things they just happen so fast. You visualize it, and then in a month, in a year, you are there. And some things it feels, at least for me, it takes more time, maybe depending on how big it is.
Mhm. And how deep.
But it moves. Yeah, and how deep.
Mhm. One of the things I started doing was I would get myself into the feeling of just having millions of dollars and being free and being able to go wherever I wanted to do. And I was like, because it is the feeling too. It's not just the
Mhm.
visualization, right? Because the feeling is the frequency. The
Yeah.
visualization is what we're able to receive um, or give with the mind and the higher mind. They to like see what's possible. And that's why what
Mhm.
ends up happening often is something beyond what we can imagine, because we can only imagine, on a scale from 0 to 100 as our minds can function, it can only imagine like, maybe 5% or something of what's truly
Mhm.
possible. So we do our hardest to like imagine, like, yeah, I want my life to be like this. And then it keeps expanding. When my experience, like my imagination, it's like, oh, it just leveled up. Like I wasn't thinking about that 3 days ago, but now I think that would be cool. Right. Yeah. And then the feeling of it is what brings the frequency around the frequency
Mhm.
of swimming in that frequency where the universe says, okay, the universe says, okay, that's what that's the feeling, that's the frequency you put out, that's the frequency it brings back.
Mhm.
So as creators of our own reality, we learn to be in the feeling of what we want as much as we possibly can, and then watching the proof kind of unfold before us. And that's what
Mhm.
I did is I got into that feeling, and I kept a journal, and I said, I'm just gonna observe and report, because I had a private investigation agency before, and I would interview and I would research and I would observe. And that's what I ended up doing. I said, I'm just going to observe. And I could see my reality changing around me. based on the feeling that I was putting out into the world. How I was like, this is wild and it works and it's fast, especially when you're like, day three. I'm being in this feeling. I always recommend starting a journal and say, day one, this is what I want. This is the feeling that I'm going to put myself into. And I think science says it takes 17 seconds of doing this consistently for the universe to um, for the frequency to begin to align. So I would do it for 17 seconds as much as I could. And I'm like, what's changing? I'm like, oh, I'm getting a phone call. And the next day it was an inspired insight to start another season on my podcast. It's like, who could I have on there? The next day it was, and this isn't verbatim, obviously, but it was something like, let me just go through all my favorite authors on my shelf and email them all. It was something I would have never thought of,
Mm.
right? And I did. And I emailed them and said, do you want to be on my podcast? Do you want to be on my podcast? And the next day it was, oh, maybe I should just start this class. I just started noticing these thoughts that
Mhm.
would come to me. They were new thoughts that were aligning with the new frequency. And so in the principles, that's what's happening when we're holding this space for someone, is we're raising the frequency of their space so that they can
Mhm.
receive the new thoughts. And when we do that for ourselves, it can be around whatever solution we're looking for to raising our frequency, and then we have new thought that solves our
Mhm.
problems. We could do that over and over again. So I do recommend keep, being in that energy and then documenting. This is what See, I started making changes so fast that I started forgetting to write it down. And then I just like I had so much momentum. I was on a roll. I should do it again just so I could like show like this is how fast it happens. I'm like, "Ooh, I need to slow down." So so there's the we're always going to get what we put out.
This is very inspiring. And I love how you connected it with frequency and new thoughts and everything happening. I love it. I never thought of connecting these quantum physics and what we are doing, raising consciousness and feelings and mood. Yeah, it's all frequency. I love it. Thank you so much.
Yeah. It really is all frequency. And then the reason I love teaching frameworks and teaching marketing is because I can look at the world and I can see what people are doing, right? I can see the methods, I can see their content, their lead magnet, the call to action, getting people on their email list. I can see the upsells and the product ladders. I could see how people, it's all very logical. It's all very reportable. I can report on that stuff. I can see what's working,
Mhm.
right? But for each of us, we might have a shortcut that hasn't been shown to anybody yet. Like it's not online yet. And that's why
Mhm.
when we can become that frequency, you're going to get an insight to do something that nobody else has probably tried before. And it's probably going to be have something to do with your creativity or something that you absolutely love to do
Mhm.
that nobody else super loves to do, right? So we can't there are proven frameworks and there's proven methods and there's paths that I can walk people down, but at the end of the day, that's why we have so much more power within us, is because you have the power to align with the frequency to get the new thoughts, and that new thought I can't
Mhm.
know. I could hold the space for you, but I can't know it either, right? Just like in the three principles, I
Yes,
can't know. I can't know what that inspired action might be for you. It doesn't
I
mean
should
that,
do that.
what's that?
I should do that, what you did. Journal day one, two, three, and what happens. I
You
think
should
it's a great idea.
So you're so sometimes I talk to people and they're like, well, why would I be in the feeling to want it if I don't have it, or if I already have it, or why would I work to have it? So they're like confused about it. But you don't have any problem visualizing a life that you want. And I'm when I say that, for everybody listening, when you visualize a life where you want, I'm talking about I have a magic wand and I'm going ching, everything you want. Because we tend to think small for ourselves, or think we don't,
Mhm.
or it's going to take so much time to get this. It's like, no, if I wave a magic wand, that life that you want for yourself, right there, write that down, and then that's the feeling. And you said that you don't have any problem getting into that feeling of that life, right? You can do that right
Yeah,
now.
I'm in a very good feeling now. I'm now in this, I don't know, what is it? It's a very good feeling, but I'm not thinking about my life. I think that I have a good life. I have a feeling that I am already so happy. But yes, there are things I want to. It would be nice to have things a little differently, but I'm pretty happy already. And that's for some reason what comes up to for me.
A lot of the times we will notice like, oh, I already have everything I want. What was I doing? What was I doing again? Like somebody told me I didn't. Was that what happened?
It's a good
That
feeling.
yeah. All our needs are met though. Most of the
Yeah.
time. Most of the time I talk to people, we end up in that worry state of habitual worrying, habitual
Mhm.
stressing. We're in some habit or some learned, and even when we can shut that down, it's like, oh, I already have everything I want. What was I like? We're fully taken care of in this moment.
Yes.
So are you gonna well, I guess I'll just ask you. We do have some time left, but I'll ask you, what are you inspired to commit to for the next 30 days or so that when we come back and you say, hey, I did this, and it can be more than one thing, right? It can be,
Mhm.
I was in the feeling and I was journaling, or, I posted on social media, or I wrote, or I'm committed to following what excites me in the moment.
Mhm. I definitely will do this journal visualization um, journal and see what's going to happen. And I will be for niche. I will wait what comes up for me. I would have an intention to see for myself which direction I want to go with my niche. And once I have it, I'll start talking to that person. And it's funny because I've changed my niche so many times on my Instagram. It's like every couple of months it would be relationship. I help you find the love of your life. And then it was divorce. I was like, people probably think that can't you just figure this out and be consistent? But yes, for me, it felt like I need to come up with something. And now I will take my time and just uh, I will wait. I will be in this not knowing for some time and then see what comes up for me.
Yeah, and also when I think that's great to see what comes and do the journaling and listen to yourself
Mhm.
and look for that excitement. And I was taught once to follow my excitement, and I thought that also meant to my excitement was like I always want to go hiking. I just want to be hiking all the time. I thought that was my excitement, but I learned through trial and error that it's the excitement in the now moment that I needed to follow, which felt like it felt like my ADD had ADD for a while. I was like bouncing around to everything, and I was like, oh. my like that is the path, that's the journey. But
Mm-hmm.
what you're, yeah, and so when you're excited about something in the moment, don't hold back, just let yourself do it, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But it sounds to me like you're doing what I did and what a lot of us do is that we're learning and we're teaching while we're learning. So everything you've gone through, you started teaching other people, which is great because your content had to have helped somebody as you were going through what your mom went through and what, through your divorce. I mean, it's not for anything. Like, it's not everything that you've done so far, because I can look back in my own path and I could see exactly how that needed to be there. It's all for something, even though it might
Mm-hmm.
feel like, why can't I just pick my life's work? And that's part of what, um, part of my, my explanation as to how what I help people do is get to their life's work, but they don't realize
Mm-hmm.
that they're usually already on it. So you're already on it. It's just what is it going to be next? And eventually you do, open these doors to like this expanse of like, oh my gosh, I'm helping these people and I'm learning, and then I'm able to take what I'm learning from other people and help more people. You get there eventually. So it's not for nothing. Yeah. And if you do change, if you do come to the conclusion 4 times throughout this, throughout the next few weeks that you want to do this, you want to do that, you don't have to completely replace everything. You can journal about it. You can write content, that
Mm-hmm.
you could do blog posts. You don't have to always record videos. You could just get it out of your system and just see, does this still feel aligned?
Mm-hmm.
And another thing is it doesn't always not make sense not to merge your accounts, right? Like I said, sometimes it makes sense. So
Mm-hmm.
I would just go in to make sure that you've thought about how algorithms work, because usually it's appeasing the algorithm with social media also. So when we're talking about niching and avatar and getting our voice heard, if we're talking about content and social media, even books and stuff. Could you just imagine a book that says, this book is for the people versus like this, like think about a book title. So basically what you're doing is you're putting a book title out there that is like gets people to pick it up and look at it, right? Social media is a little different because it's all about pleasing the algorithm and helping the algorithm understand who to send your videos to. So
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it makes sense to blend that, and sometimes it's like, if you're going to do, um, one of my clients has like a dance channel and she's an animal communicator. Like it would
Mm-hmm.
make no sense for her to blend those two channels, right? So she's very clear at keeping everything separate because just for the algorithm. And the other thing too is you'll see when people have made a name for themselves, a lot of this stuff doesn't matter anymore. You can post whatever
Mm-hmm.
you want and you become your niche, right? But in the beginning, you have to like put the tack on the map, claim your location, and then grow from there.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Mm-hmm. For sure. And I wanted to ask you about the name. Does the name matter? Like I have this life story coaching for the business. Kate has her last name and coaching. Does it even matter? How important is it?
It doesn't. I
It
think the
doesn't.
most important thing is that it matters, that it means something to you in the beginning,
Mm-hmm.
like that it means something to you. Because I've seen people do entire branding or get branding done by like a branding company, and it never meant anything. And that energy just didn't ever solidify. So, like, it doesn't feel very grounded because it didn't come from the creator very
Mm-hmm.
well. So, what's most important is that you love it, as long as you love it. And because I did see another life story coaching online,
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that matters either. Um, because people will tend to find you when they're seeing you and they're hearing you,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So I wouldn't worry too much. What I also notice happens is you've got a brand, like how do you pronounce your last name?
It's very complicated. Lyulintseva.
Lulin Suba. Is that right? Lulin Suba. So you can have a brand with your, Elena. I'm not even trying to say your last name. I'll listen to this later and get it. Um, but you can have a brand that could be your brand as Alina, right? Your full
Mhm.
name. So, and usually that does happen. Like I have a Laura Perry website, but my blog's on there, my academy's on there, everything that I do is on there.
Mhm.
And then I have the Soulpreneur Prosperity Academy, which is like one of my limbs, So as long as you love it and you stay consistent with it, it doesn't matter. There are weird names out there that have done really amazing things and they've stayed consistent. And then people hear it and they're like, oh, I know who that is. So that's all. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say the only thing is if you decide to do something besides coaching,
Mhm.
right? But then you could just put it under your full name or you could start another thing. You could start another website, life story travel, life story connection, life story, relationship, whatever's available, right? So you could make other arms and branches off that.
I love it. I love how you just come up with something. Your marketing brain. So good.
Well, thank
Mm.
you. It's, you do it enough and it's like, oh, I will tell you most of those things are probably taken. I'm just gonna guess, but the travel might be there. Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, you just when we I think let me think about this because what we end up doing as business owners, we end up having to learn marketing, and then we end up having to learn the language of marketing, and then we end up
Mhm.
having to learn what gets people's attention. And it's usually not the elusiveness, like you said, you
Mhm.
wanted to put offers out there that are resonating with people. And so as a marketer, which I don't even really like to call myself a marketer because really it's just energy and emotion. We're just playing with energy in a different way now. But we're
Uh-huh.
grounding it. We're grounding it and we're solidifying it. And we are reaching the human parts of people also, not just the spiritual parts. And I think that's the difference is that when my marketing looked a lot like your marketing, I was just talking to the spiritual part of people that didn't
Mhm.
really, they already saw that parts in themselves. So then I had to say, okay, how do I talk to the person that needs the raise in consciousness over
Mhm.
here? And that's where so much of what are they suffering with? What's the problem? If they're waking up in night sweats at 3 a.m., what is that about? What are they thinking about? What are their psychographics? That's their emotional internal world, right?
Mhm.
And I go into more, I have more resources maybe I'll offer you later on about how can you begin to see that in the people that are in front of you. How can you begin to write those things out, right? Like I have entire courses, but what I need to do is just pull like parts out because I'm noticing just within the community, we know this stuff, but we've never really been taught to write it out and then speak and say, "Hey,
Mhm.
I hear you." Like if you sat down and you talked about everything that you went through or wrote out everything that you went through by being in that relationship, you would have so much good marketing material for you as a past avatar. Because sometimes we're our own avatars.
Mhm.
So that's what
Oh
you
yeah.
would want to, yeah. And that's why you're sharing your content about what you're going through too on social media, because you are your own avatar. But yeah, so that's why journaling or, oh my gosh, I remember when I was going through terrible times. I look at my journals now and I'm like, there's a lot of good stuff about that person, that version of me that needs me now. I know how to
Mhm.
talk to her by looking at where I was, but they're not going to hear us. See, we're speaking from different frequencies still. Like I said, you're up here speaking to people up here, and the people down here need you to just come down and
Mhm. Speak the language.
yeah, I call that customer language because we're the expert. When we reach this stage, we can be the expert, but we have to translate.
Mhm.
So your three principles: higher consciousness, inner truth, insight, simple life. better life. We have to figure out what that means on this level, and then isolate it, and then put that out there, and then also show them what's possible.
Hmm. Yes, sounds so easy. And yeah, I'm excited about this experiment with journaling and discovering the niche. As of now, relationship comes up because
And
but it's also so wide. It can be romantic relationship, it can be friendship, it can be relationship with parents, with kids.
Mhm. Yeah.
I think romantic.
Yeah, I mean, you have grounding with that, right? And what we're taught in the principles is, stick to your grounding.
Yes.
Not only
And
in our understanding of the principles, but our grounding is like, I've been there.
I've been there. I've been in bad relationship, and now I'm in good relationship. Happy.
Even though they're still teaching psychologists how to do things differently, right? So they've even
Yeah.
done that accidentally. And so you notice how they expand. They pinpointed just like we talked about, and now there's all kinds of people coming into their programs. They're not just coaches, they're not psychologists. I mean, I'd love to see who now they're attracting, but their marketing hasn't changed, right? They're not marketing real estate agents now because they had 3 come in. They're still marketing to the same people, which is just
Yes.
talking about what they do.
Mhm. Yes, they're a great example of that.
All right, Elena. So you said you were going to do the experiments of journaling, being in the feeling and the vision, because I want to
Yes.
make sure I can being feeling and vision and see what changes around you and
Hmm.
witness the proof of your life actively changing around you and within you,
Yes.
and taking action on what comes up, taking inspired action. And then also discovering your niche and exploring that a little bit. That might come through the feeling and visualization also. So that'll be exciting to see what happens.
Yes. I'm super excited.
And you said if you do get to that point, you'll start talking to those people, and then you'll know who to talk to, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And then again, like I said, if you decide to expand from there, you can talk to more people, but just one step at a time.
Yes. Yes, exactly. One step at a time.